What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Scevoli X War Show. We always have to do the X, just to prove a point on my show. Yeah, there you go, Jonathan. There you go. See, he gets it. See, all the guests, they really didn't get it. Now, but Jonathan gets it. He gets it. And I'm a little scared because he has been acting and voice acting for so many years, and he's so amazing, and I'm so happy he's here, Jonathan. He played one of my favorite shows that is out on Disney Plus now that you can go watch. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is now streaming on Disney Plus. Season 1 is out. Season 2 and I think 3 are done, but we can't talk about those because copyright. And Scevoli Tano might make an appearance on the second, third season. Not really. They didn't offer me. Yeah, they didn't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
We might take a sample. We might take a sample of your voice, and it might show up somewhere. You never know.
Hey, I'm down. This voice can go miles.
It's got legs. It's got legs.
It does. It really does. I'm so excited. But Jonathan is here to talk about all his things he does in the world of acting. I'm so excited he's here. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm still kicking. So that's a good thing.
That's right, kicking.
As
long as we're awake and moving forward, I think it's good, right? It's good.
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good. I wake up, I go to work, come back home, eat some nuggets, and then do this. I ate some chicken nuggets before I came here. I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this interview. Yeah.
Usually it's just coffee for me, but good on you for the nuggets.
Thank you. I appreciate that. See, someone gets it. Someone gets my needs. See, the world of Scevoli X War Show. See, Jonathan gets the nuggets.
We all have different needs. We all have different needs. Chris's nuggets.
Yeah, I want chicken nuggets, man. I want chicken nuggets.
That's the next show. The next show's name is just going to be Chris's Nuggets.
Chris's Nuggets. That's good. It's Jonathan. Jonathan. You got something there for me. You got something there.
It's all yours, Chris. It's all yours. It's all yours.
Yes. He'll copyright me. I'll have Disney on my ass, and they'll come to my house. Like we heard about your interview you did with Jonathan, and he told you about Christmas Nuggets, and now we have to sue.
My lawyers are working on the copyright right now. So.
That's a really good name. I'm really gonna think about that after this interview. I'm definitely gonna think about that name and be like, what can I put on a T-shirt that says like Scevoli X Wars Nuggets? My God, like
Nuggets.
Say this is what we do. This is how we brainstorm, people. This is the world we live in. This is the world. But Jonathan, my first question to you, my friend, is how did you get into the voice acting and acting as general? Because it's so hard to do. Because I tried, like people wanted me to act in high school and stuff like that, and I never did because I was always scared, stage fright. So how did you become this amazing actor and voice actor that you are today?
Well, thank you for the qualifier. Amazing is really nice. I had always wanted to do it. I mean, ever since I was a kid, and right around the time I was living in Phoenix, and I was trying to figure out what the next stage of my life was going to hold, other than technical work, because I was working for IBM at the time, and I had done some sort of technical work for the better part of 10 years at that point. And I found Backstage, and I went and I applied to a short film. I went in as the villain, and the guy cast me as the hero, which was a complete surprise to me. We shot it. It went to a couple of festivals, and I got an agent in Phoenix. Quickly realized that there was no way I was going to be able to make a living in Phoenix as an actor. This is no dig on Phoenix, just the nature of the town and the amount of jobs that there were there. So I moved to LA, and then I quickly realized that I wasn't going to be able to make a living in LA either, because acting is so difficult. And I came out here, I couch surfed for a while, found an agent, booked some student films, some short films, booked my first co-star on Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, and the rest is histrionics. So,
oh, wow. Criminal Minds is a good show.
It was Gary Sinise was the lead on it. It was the spin-off. Beyond Borders was a spin-off. It only went one season, but I thought it was really well done. And I played a cannibal, polygamist, serial killer on that show. I had the trifecta.
Damn, sounds about right.
Yeah. It was Paul, oh God, Paul Kaufman was the director. Oh my God. Paul Kaufman was the director. He was super sweet. And the very first shot, they had me at a grill, and I was dressed in a Panama shirt and a hat, and I told them that I was vegan because I am. And so they had set aside some seitan and some tempeh to use as a substitute for the meat that I was eating, and the meat was supposed to be people. And I just I was cooking, and the camera was, oh God, probably about 25 yards away. They had a long lens on there. They were getting an establishing shot, and so I lift up the hood of the grill, and I had put some of the fake raw meat on the hood of the grill and I was bringing them down one at a time. And at one point, I grabbed the last one and I licked my fingers, and I could hear everyone in Valley Village go, "Ooh!" And Paul was like, "Do that again!" And that was the beginning of my network television career.
Yeah, do that again. Do that again, John. Do that
Yeah,
again.
it's one of those moments where, and a lot when I'm sure you've heard this before, but when actors will tell you it was it was sort of a happy accident because they were covered in this sort of vegan barbecue sauce. It was delicious.
Oh
And
God.
so when I at one point I just, as you do, right? Like you'll lick your fingers when you're playing with your food or whatever, and it wasn't written in the script. It wasn't part of the scene. It wasn't necessarily anything that they were planning on in the shot, and it just so happened that it worked for the character, it worked for the scene, and it was an important lesson for me as an actor to understand what it means to take a chance, to take a risk, bold choices. You hear those phrases thrown around a lot, and that's kind of what it means. It was one example of it anyway for me.
Yeah, that's I would say I'm like, I'm not a. How can I say? I don't want to say can I say I'm a clean freak? I think that makes sense. Like I don't like I won't lick my fingers. Like I don't know why. Like it would have to be like I wash my hands always because that norovirus will get that ass. That norovirus out there will get your ass. Um, so like I wash my hands like right after this probably interview that I'll go wash my hands. But like Chris, like you're going like out somewhere or you're going somewhere, so why would you wash your hands? I would just wash it. So I think like when I was a kid, I used to go, "Oh my God, the Doritos Cool Ranch," let me shove it in my mouth like salt, like this. Um, but now I'm like, no, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't. I don't
No,
know.
well, it worked for me.
Hey, you got to yeah and do that again. So you were Jonathan, you were sucking those fingers like no tomorrow. That vegan barbecue sauce was great, man. Like,
It ended up one thing, and and one thing leads into another, right? And then like you play with kind of those same choices throughout the different scenes. And so as we shot over the course of that, I shot for about a week on that episode. And there were a lot of little moments like that sort of popped up, but they really created, Paul and everybody on set really created this wonderful environment where you were sort of encouraged to make those kinds of choices. I think Gary, they say that it starts from the top down, right? Number one on the call sheet. And Gary was incredibly generous and such a kind and supportive artist and person on set. So it was like it was one of those rare moments that for me was so important because it really was the beginning of my career, because I had done some work prior to that. But as anybody will tell you, like once you get your first network credit, co-star, guest star, whatever, it really puts you on a radar and on a trajectory that gives you the ability to get seen by other people and get other opportunities to get other jobs. So it was great in that way.
oh, that's amazing. And look where you are now. Now look where you are, sitting with me. I know. Amazing.
Yes,
Yes. This is your
we
dream.
made it. We made
it. Now, Jonathan, my next question is we're going to get into your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in a few, but I want to ask you, like, what is your favorite role to play? Do you like to play the villain or you like to play the hero? Because I feel like you're the type of guy that will play the villain. Like, you're really good at it. Like, I can really say, like, even talking to you now, like, you're like mysterious. You're like, yeah, let's like cannibalism. Let's do this. Let's lick the fingers. Like, what is your favorite role? Do you like playing the villain, or it has to make sense for you? But I don't know if you can. You pick your role. I don't think you can. Right? You can't really pick your role.
Not really. I mean, I have turned down auditions
Oh,
because
okay.
of the role, um, which is I know it's unusual, and people will very often say we just want to work, and I think I was lucky in that I had a day job that I wasn't willing to give up because this is such a fickle business and it is so difficult to get roles. I'm a huge fan of biographies and autobiographies, and I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I love this business. I've always loved this since I was a kid, and I've watched a lot of documentaries about actors, and one of the ones that stayed with me was Harrison Ford. I think a lot of people know that he was a carpenter, and that there's that
Mhm.
story of him working on the door in the office next to George Lucas when he was casting Star Wars. What people don't realize is that part of the reason that he was a carpenter was because he had walked away from the studio system. He had been
Oh.
a contract player at a couple of different studios, including Warner Brothers, and he didn't like the roles that they were putting him in. And he knew that he wanted to work in film. He had a specific idea in mind of what he wanted to do. And so he took that job to make money and support his family, obviously, which we all need to do. And it also gave him the ability to pick and choose, to say no when it wasn't right for him. And I think that my day job that I had for a long time, I mean, for almost 8 years, because I've been doing this now 10, 11 years. And for the first eight, I was working a day job almost all the time. I would take time off to shoot something when I was lucky enough to get it. But it also gave me the ability to go, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to perpetuate a particular stereotype, or I didn't necessarily gel with the character or the way something was written. And so it allowed me to start to inadvertently build a kind of path for myself, character path. And all of that to say, I love well-written characters, whether it's the villain or the hero. I forget who said it, but I remember some wonderful actor that I was watching saying, might have been Alan Rickman, saying the difference between the hero and the villain is perspective,
Mhm.
and the villain, when they're well written, or just well acted or well directed, well edited, whatever, I think you start to see that they genuinely believe and are heavily invested in who they are. They don't see themselves as the villain. They are the hero of their story. And I think that's as true in voiceover as it is in live action or stage. If you're looking at someone and you can, so that role, for example, that Criminal Minds role, Autumn Reeser was the guest star. She was the top of show guest star on that episode.
Oh,
She was
okay.
one of the women that I had kidnapped.
Oh God.
She was and she was so and I don't think I've ever told this story, but she was so supportive, and I don't think she knew that I was like very green, or as green as I was. But at one point we were doing, and I think it was the very first day, we were doing the final scene, the confrontation with all of the uh, the officers, all of Gary Sinise's officers. They were all there, and I'm in this scene where I'm kind of holding my daughter. She was 3, uh, as a shield, almost. And there are the two women that I had already been holding hostage, who were captive, and Autumn was the new one, and she was the sort of doorway that led these people to me. And we're doing the scene, and they're getting everybody else's coverage before mine. And at one point, I think I was like 3 or 4 covers in, so they had done Gary's coverage and they had done a couple of the other officers. And Autumn turned to me and she goes, "I feel sorry for you." and not in a like I feel sorry for you kind of like she said to me, and I said, I thanks, I think, and she goes, no, I just she said you like you're holding us hostage, and I feel empathy for you, and I remembered that. Um, many days after, in the moment, I was so charged with energy that I was in the room with all these people, and I was on a network show, that I was so blown away, and my energy was so high. I didn't really process it till days later, and I was thinking about it, and I realized, oh my God, that's what's always like when you watch Alan Rickman in Die Hard, for example. He's charismatic and he's gregarious and he has this incredible persona that doesn't always read as the bad guy. And he's likable. You want to see more of him. And there were moments throughout Die Hard where I feel bad for him almost. And I thought, that's interesting. To me, as an audience, I would want to watch that. So I started to fold that into all of the characters that I did. And it worked out really well. I mean, I would find myself again with people telling me like, I didn't want to like your character, but I really did. I liked your character a lot. And I think that's it's easier to like the hero. It's harder to like the villain. And if you can embody the villain or imbue the villain with something akin to humanity, I think it also raises the stakes, right, for the hero, because now you're sort of, as an audience, you're really in. It's not just about the hero winning the day. It's wow, I kind of feel something for the villain too, you know?
Yeah, like I think like with me, like when I don't like a villain in a show or a movie, like it's like their acting is so good. Like how can you hate them? Like how do you like that's like to me like how do you hate that villain? Like I don't like the villain. I'll be like, oh, he's on my screen again. I can't stand him. Like, but in my head I'm going, I like you. Like,
Yeah.
you got a really cool story. I like you. You know, like it's like what character can we like really use? Like Agatha. I don't know if you watched the Disney Plus show
Oh
Agatha
yeah.
all along, you know, and then you see her story and it's like I feel bad for you because you're such a witch, but you're like I just feel bad that you're like that. Like I don't know why you're like that. I understand it, but like if you were just nice and like we'll all be fine. We can all be friends and have a kumbaya session, you know? Have some have go outside and burn some fire, you know? Like but like I feel bad for her. Like I watched the show and I really was and then the last episode I was like, "Oh, really?" Like I liked Agatha all along. That was a good Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
But I felt really bad for her. Like it was really good, the show, and like I love that for actors. Like I like when I can feel like their pain because you could connect to them too. I like when I can connect to like the character. Like it's back to Star Wars, like Anakin. You know, Anakin is a relatable character. You know, because it's like you have the good side and you have the evil side. Darth Vader is his evil side. You know what I mean? Like that's who he became.
But
And
it's funny, Chris, that you say that, because I was just talking about it with this with a friend of mine, and even when in the original three, when you're watching Darth Vader, and it's not to take anything away from the actor in the suit, but James Earl Jones's voice is so captivating and so full of emotion that even when he is on a tear and he's find them, kill them now, there's so much emotion in his voice, and it's so elevated that I feel like he transcends just good and evil. Like he's dangerous for sure, and he's not someone that you want to mess around with. Obviously, you want to stay out of his way, and if you can avoid him completely, it'd probably be better off. But there is still something about him, even in the original three films, and that arc at the end is so powerful. I mean, even in Empire, when he's saying how, we can be, join me, and he's telling Luke to join him, there's a part of me that was like, yeah, do it. Sure. He loves you. This is how he shows love, right? Sick. But it is compelling, even as Darth Vader. So it becomes even more so to see the journey of like, how did he go from being Anakin to this, this person who's so full of pain and rage, right? That it's compelling. Again, it's compelling. It's a compelling narrative for us as the audience.
It is, and I enjoy every minute of Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
Me too.
I love everything about it. You gotta voice someone in Star Wars, John. You gotta voice someone. We gotta get you. We got Lucasfilm. Let's do it. We need them.
Come on, George. Hire me, George.
So, Jonathan, I'm gonna just be doing 1s, 2s, and 3s at this point. My next question, Jonathan, is so how did you get the role of Scorpion in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Like, I love that show. I was just watching it now before you came on, and I love it. I just love animation. That's like my thing. So it's like anything animation, anything like artsy. Like I have so much art in my room. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know where I'm like a hoarder. Like I'm like just like hide things under my mattress or something, my pillow. But like, how did you get the role of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man as the Scorpion?
I just auditioned. I have a great agent. Michaela Hicks is my agent. She is one of the hardest working people in the business, especially in the voiceover business, and she's gotten me like a lot of great auditions, and I've gotten really close on a lot. And this was one of those where I had done it and was I think I was a month out from having, might even be more than that. I was a month or 2 months away from the audition, having turned it in. Didn't even think about it anymore because yeah, that's kind of what I have to do. I just have to, once I do something, I turn it over and I forget about it and make room for whatever's next on the playlist. And I was down in New Orleans and I was shooting a pilot, and my is it New Orleans? I was either in New Orleans or New Mexico. I think I was shooting the pilot. Oh no, that was something different. So I was in New Mexico. I was in New Mexico shooting something else, and she called me up and she said, "You got it." And I said, "What?" And she gave me the code name, which I won't tell you what it is, but she gave me the code name, and I said, "That's great. I have no idea what that is." And then she said, "It's this other, and she told me it's just Spider-Man." And I said, "Shut your front door." And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Who am I playing? Spider-Man?" She said, "Please."
Please,
and then we had a great laugh, and because I knew that I knew who I had auditioned for, and she said, "You got it," and I was so stoked, and that was it. That's how I got the role.
Oh, so you knew you were signing up for Scorpion?
I knew I was signing up. I knew I was signing up for a villain.
A villain, okay.
And I wasn't entirely sure which one, because as you can imagine, everything is coded and encrypted to the 10th level. And so I knew that it was affiliated with Marvel. And I knew that it was a villain just from the nature of the dialogue, the script. But I didn't know exactly who it was. And then when I got the job, she told me, and I was so blown away, because it's part of a long history of people who've done it, including Martin Landau, which I remember seeing him in the animated series, watching or listening to him as the Scorpion, and thinking, God, man, I'm going to be doing the same character. And there's a lot of other wonderful voice actors who've done it too. But I loved Mac, just the kind of noir-esque character that he was, right? Like he was a private eye, and he was a guy who grew up on the streets, and he's kind of gritty, and he's got that 1940s feel, like in another life, in another dimension, he's in a film with Humphrey Bogart. And the fact that he gets to sort of be this bad guy, but it comes from a real human place. For me, it did. And so it was a blast. So I was so excited going into the first voiceover session, and I had such a good time with Jeff and Sarah Sherman, and it was such a blessing. So great.
That's awesome. I'm glad you had fun. I watched it. I had fun watching it.
A lot of people did. I actually had a friend of mine call me, and as a favor, I sang, or not sang, I did a happy birthday message for somebody as the Scorpion.
Oh, that's
So this
cool.
this is kind of this is some of the response that I've got. It's been wild. It's been wild, really.
I'm glad because I think the Scorpion is a really unique character in the Spider-Man like world. So, how did you come up with the voice for Spider-Man? Scorpion. How did you come up with the voice? Did you? I know you practiced some voices, but I don't. I didn't watch like those Spider-Man back then, so I don't know what they really sound like. The Scorpion villains. I know, guys, don't hate me. Everybody's gonna be in the comments like, "Oh my god, he hasn't watched it. What a hater! What a fake fan." Yeah, and I'll be like, I would just like the comment because I love that. I just like it. I go, okay, thank you, thanks for the feedback. Like, you know what? I don't really care what you think. Like, I don't really
I
care.
think sometimes it's better not to have seen something else because
Yeah,
there
like how
is,
you did it. Like you're the first actual voice that I've heard of Scorpion. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like listening to you, and I'm like, wow, this guy really sounds badass. Like he's like, and then I like when I meet the person like you, and you don't even sound like anything like him. You have to like make an accent. Like it's like I don't know if you ever watched The Walking Dead. Do you ever watch The Walking Dead?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Lincoln, Rick, right? So
Hmm.
he's in the show
Love
talking.
Actually. Love Actually. He's in Love Actually.
Oh yes, yeah, he is. He is. I love Andrew Lincoln. I think he's such an amazing actor. One of my favorites. Um, so he was in The Walking Dead, of course, and they have a Talking Dead show after. So he was on it. And I'm like listening to him, I'm like, he's British. I said, what? I said, how does that work? And then Maggie's British. You come up with other. I'm like, how do you guys like? I know it's easy to switch on and off. I get it, but I'm like, how do you do that? Because if I talk with an accent, I'm talking like that's how I talk. But how do you like rephrase that? Like that's crazy. And I'm like, guys, you juked me. Like you lied to me. My whole childhood was a lie, you know? So like how did you transform that voice into the Scorpion?
So there were I it's been so long now. I think there was some direction in the initial audition that had hinted at his nationality, right?
Oh,
That he
okay.
was that they were going to make him Latin, which was great. And so I kind of gave him a little bit of an accent or a lilt from the jump, and then that turned into I borrowed heavily from so many different actors and voices who I've heard over the years. Robert Beltran from Star Trek Voyager. My character from Primo, which I don't know if you've seen, but or people haven't seen, like go check out Primo on Amazon Freebie. It's
I'm
a
to
it's
it.
a Mike Shore who did Parks and Rec and The Office
Oh wow.
and The Good Place. Yeah, he's the executive producer, and it's based on Shea Serrano. And Shea Serrano is the other executive producer, and it's based on Shea's life loosely.
Oh, okay.
16-year-old boy and his mom, and she's trying to raise him with her five brothers. So there's five uncles, and I play one of the uncles. It's hysterical. 30 minutes, really easy watch. 8 episodes. We came out at a bad time, so we ended up not getting the second season. But the first season is worth a watch, and it's really easy, and they're wonderful. All the actors in it are incredibly wonderful. And I had created a voice for that character, so I borrowed from him. So there were a lot of different inspirations for me. And then when we got into the voice session, when we got into the first VO session, Jeff really just let me go. He had a couple of notes here and there, and we sort of played with some levels, but he really loved what I had done in the audition, both he and Sarah. And so I just kind of like leaned in on that. And then I just really let him live. I didn't put any checks or balances on him. I let that be something that was sort of run by the engineers, by Jeff, because what I wanted more than anything else was to make Mac as grounded as possible, right? I wanted him to be terrifying because, as we were talking about before, the hero and the villain, right? If you make something incredibly difficult for the hero and they overcome it, it's so much more satisfying for us as the audience. And so I wanted to make this, and of course I didn't know everything that was going to happen. So as we were in the various sessions, I'm discovering, as Mac is discovering, what's going on. And so I was able to play with that a lot, and that sort of lent into every moment was life or death for me. Every moment was, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to leave it all on the floor, right? Because I want to make sure that there isn't a wasted second for Mac. And it turned out really well. It turned out great for us.
You killed it. That's all I'm just saying. You literally almost killed the Spider-Man, but just so you know, you almost killed him. I really feel bad. Like
I'm gonna get there soon. Don't worry.
That's a good voice. See, I can't do that. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just be on the phone like Ghostface and be like, "Your refrigerator's running," and then just hang up the phone and run. You know. And they actually would check if the refrigerator's running. They'll actually check if I was outside. No, I'm just at home under my mattress, you know, just chilling, you know. Is your refrigerator running? You know, just like
check your closet. Check your closet.
Yeah, you know, like just a Scorpion voice over the phone, like, check your room, kid. I'm coming to get you, you know.
I hear you just turned 17. Yeah, that's fine.
It is. We have good times on this show. We do. We really do.
I love it, man. I love it.
I know, right? We just have fun. My show's all about fun. I bet you if we just drop an elbow from a top turnbuckle like WWE, we'll be fine too. You know, we'll still laugh about it. So Jonathan, like, the Scorpion is a big success in your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, one of the most villains as we see so far in season 1. Now, season 2, I know you can't talk about, so I'm not even going to ask you that question because I don't want to hear your mouth. Oh, we can't talk about it. You know, I already know, Jonathan. I already know. But can you say anything? If you're a fan, if you're a fan, I'm like me, looking in on the show. What do you hope for Scorpion in season 2?
What do I hope?
Now he's in jail, right? I think they left. I've watched it like a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember. He went to jail, right? I think he went to jail. Yeah.
He was definitely down for the count when last we left the Scorpion. He was down for the count, which I assume means that he's probably in some sort of holding pen for supervillains. I hope they didn't put me in general population, because that's I hope that he gets a chance to escape. I hope he gets a chance to figure out how to get revenge. And I hope that we see some more growth, some backstory, maybe some, you know,
like, why did he become the Scorpion? Like, what happened, you know, in his hood? Yeah,
that would be nice.
I think because I know season 2 and 3 are done, right? I think the recording is done. I think season 3 they're working on, right? Last time
they're working on 3, from what I understand. What I know, which is not much, but from what I know, they're working on 3.
Yeah. So there's so season 2 comes out, I think, next year. I'm not too sure. I think next year season 2 comes out 2026. And season 3 probably right 2027, 2028. But yeah, the Scorpion, like, he's a badass character. He really is. You play a badass character. I'm honored to have you here.
Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun to play.
It was. So what was your favorite scene from your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? If you watched the whole series. I don't know if you watched the whole series. I guarantee you did. But it doesn't have to be Scorpion related. What was your favorite scene watching as a viewer in your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
So my favorite scene of Scorpion was episode 7, and watching that fight and I've seen, like, I've had so many people send me the reactions when the Scorpion kills that one guy, and that it never gets old for me. Just the and it doesn't matter. It's so funny in this time of divisiveness. Uh, I always go back to there is so much more that unites us than divides us. There's so much more that we have in common with each other than that makes us different. And I have not seen that more in animation and in my professional life than in the reactions from people when the Scorpion gets that guy in the hideout. Because it doesn't matter what you identify with as, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what language people speak. Everybody has the same reaction, and it looks something akin to this. And it just doesn't get old. And that scene was so much fun to voice, and I almost didn't make it. I almost didn't make it as the voice of Scorpion coming out of that, because I was dripping sweat when I that's how much we
Oh, wow.
did, how intense the voice work was for that scene and for that fight. It was so exhausting. So I loved that scene, and I loved the way it came out for that reason. And then watching the relationship between Osborn and Peter, between Norman and Peter, it was interesting watching the way, I mean, the way that Coleman voiced it was great, and the way, and specifically because there's a poker face that he has, or a poker voice in his case, that he has the whole season. And so he would toggle back and forth. It would go back to that whole interesting villain thing, right? Where there were times where I really liked him, and then times where I was very suspect of what his motives really were. And some of it was colored by the history of the character and what I know about the story, and then some of it was the way that he would deliver some certain lines, and the youthfulness, the naive nature of Peter, and the way that he evolved in being able to think for himself, and to appreciate Norman for who he was as a mentor and as a replacement father figure, and then eventually coming to, through no fault of Norman's, coming to become his own man by the end of the season. Watching that arc, watching that progression was really fun, and the way that they drew it, the way that they voiced it, the way they edited, and the final product, I think there's a reason that everybody was a lot of people were so on board with it, and even the people who didn't like it. I know that there's dissenters and everything, but even the people who sort of had criticisms, I think everybody could agree that there was a payoff at the end. There was something interesting about watching that arc and watching the relationship between the two of them play out the way that it did, which was great, and I loved it.
Yeah, I loved the whole show. I think the whole story was great from episode 1 to episode 10. It just told a beautiful story, and I'm a viewer looking in to on, like, I know you can't say anything about season 2. I know that. I'm not even going to ask you, Jonathan. But I feel like Osborn is not. Yeah, Norman is going to turn his back on Peter. I have a feeling like that's coming. I don't know if it will. That's my theory, and then I don't know where they'll go from there. I like the Oscorp suit that Peter always has on. I love that. They came out with a Funko Pop for that. Amazing. Like, I love that suit, the Oscorp suit. It's amazing. That's one of my favorite suits. And then of course he gets his regular suit in episode 10. Spoiler. If you haven't watched it, it's been over a year, people. Like, get over it, get over it. But yeah, like, I that's my theory for season 2. I feel like Norman is gonna do something to Peter or set him up somehow, and they're just gonna go their separate ways. Or he becomes the main villain, Norman. He becomes the main villain in season 2, of the end of season 2, heading into season 3. But we will see. We will find out the next episode of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Tune in next year for
Yeah,
the
it's gonna be
next
next year.
season
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus.
And Hudson does a great job. I love Hudson as Peter. I love Hudson. He does such a great job.
It's not easy what he did. It's not easy because there's a fine line between the witty sort of banter, the devil may care attitude that Spider-Man has to have, and then the sort of bumbling scientist that Peter is just naturally, right? And to be able to see the transition or hear the transition, man, my hat's off to him because it is, I think, one of the more challenging superheroes in any of the universes, right? I think people make the comparison between Spider-Man and Superman, in that in Spider-Man's case, in his case, there he is Peter Parker, and he is putting on the costume to become someone else. But because he's a kid, there's this innocence, right? There's this humanity that he has from that innocence that I think all of us can identify with at some point, because we all remember what it's like to be a kid and to have to struggle with trying to grow up, and the duality of who he is in both of those identities and how they start to sort of merge. In Superman's case, it's like he's not Clark Kent is his mask,
yeah.
right? He is really the alien, and he has to hide that identity and in order to just live in this world, and eventually the two start to sort of merge and become one as his story progresses. But there's also, I think, a humanity, interestingly, from an alien perspective, that I think we could probably use more of nowadays. But to see how someone who's not from here, how much good they could do, and yet remain so alone because they're not from here, and what that takes to survive, and putting on a mask and trying to figure out how not to give yourself away and live in this world, and the humanity in that, I think it is also what makes Superman so compelling. And for me, those two were always my favorite superheroes when I was growing up reading comics.
I'll definitely be watching that new Superman movie. Are you going to be watching it?
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it.
And then the Fantastic Four, like what?
I'm excited by all of that. Anytime the new films come out, I'm a huge superhero geek, so I love all that stuff.
I'm really excited because it leads up into Doomsday and everything. I'm so excited. And then I don't know how Doom is going to be a day, So Doomsday, is that going to be like a national holiday? Are we going to get doomed? We got so many questions.
I can tell you that I got a chance to audition for a character on Doomsday. I'm not gonna tell you which one because I can't. But I did get to audition for them, and Sarah Finn, who's the casting director, was really kind to even just give me. It's such a great moment as an actor, when you get to audition for something of that caliber, something that you love, that's been in your life for that long. When you get the roles as you progress through your career, that's even just dreams come true kind of thing, like this, right? Like this was a dream, kind of like I'm part of the Marvel universe. It's crazy to think about. But I am part of the Marvel, and Spider-Man, who's one of my favorite, one of my favorite characters of all time, and to be part of that world is so great. But yeah, so there are gonna be some great movies coming out, I think.
And I hope you're in them, Jonathan. I'll be looking out for you. Like, where's Jonathan? Where is he?
No. I'm not. I wasn't in it, but I did get to audition for it, so I got a chance to see some of it, which is
wow,
primo stuff.
Primo stuff.
Or I should say read. I got a chance to read a little bit of it, which was really.
Oh, that's
really,
awesome. Really nice. That's awesome.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the pages come to life.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So my next question to you, Jonathan, is your top 3 favorite Marvel characters and why?
Well, so Marvel characters, Spider-Man.
Well, you can pick anybody. Let me rephrase that, because Marvel, I know you're a big Marvel fan. You're a big DC and probably Star
Yeah.
Wars. So I'm gonna say top 3 favorite characters in that you love always. Like I could say that like your top 3. Like I could say here and say Ahsoka, Anakin, and Scarlet Witch. You know, top 3 favorite characters.
So I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. But he's not really, or they are not really in that universe. And so Spider-Man, definitely in the Marvel universe. Spider-Man, Wolverine, and yeah, Wolverine, and who else was a favorite of mine? Mr. Fantastic. Wolverine, I just loved how gritty he was. I loved how he just did not give one solitary you know what. And I don't know if we're allowed to curse on this.
Well, Jonathan, be real. I've been cursing since I got here.
I just, yeah, I mean, I love how Wolverine just straight up does not give a shit. And yet you know that he does, right? Like he does that hero personality to a T. You know that he's got this big gooey center and just covers it with this adamantium armor. And he's fiercely loyal. We have no idea like really how long he's been around, but the history that he carries within him because of his like that. I love. There was a show called Forever with Ian Guffold, who was most people would know him as the steward who goes back in Titanic to rescue the people in the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually played Mr. Fantastic in I forget which he played Mr. Fantastic in one of the movies, one of the older movies, and I think it was the one with Chris Evans.
Okay.
And Jessica Alba. And yeah, that was a really great. I loved that cast. I know people kind of hate on that movie, but Mr. Fantastic because of his. He grew up as the nerdy kid who really made something of himself, and despite the outcast that he was because of his intellect, he still managed to find family, right? His found family, which in his wife and her brother and his friend. And I loved the relationship of those 4 characters for that reason. They were like found family, which, has been huge for me as I've gotten older. And so Mr. Fantastic as the leader of that, and his ability to be both intellectual or cerebral about situations, but still have that emotional center and be able to act on both of those, I think, equally, was always beautiful to me. And I love the fact that he could stretch. That was always really cool. I love all the shapes and things and how powerful he really was. People don't slip on Mr. Fantastic. Like he's
fantastic.
He is truly fantastic. So him, Wolverine, Spider-Man, those are my top 3, I think.
Now have you watched X-Men 97?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I didn't watch the whole season, but I saw some of it. I was working a lot when it. Yeah, I heard great things when it first came out, and I started watching it. It was such a nostalgic trip for me because it reminded me so much of the cartoons that I watched when I was a kid. So for that reason alone, I was a huge fan. And then the story, the voice acting, that's phenomenal.
It is. It really is. Season 2 is coming out, I think, next year. I think 2026. I'm so excited. And then I feel like we need more Deadpool and Wolverine together. I love Deadpool. That's me. That's me in a costume. If I could play a role, I think Deadpool would be the one. I might not have the voice as Ryan Reynolds, of course, but like I could play Deadpool to a T. I would play. And Dogpool. I'd be running like Dogpool with my tongue out like this.
Now we know what you're going to be for Halloween.
I actually really wanted to be Deadpool, but I think the suit is so tight that I wanted to get. It would just show my, come on. That suit is really tight. And I think my friend wanted me like to dress up as superheroes for their kid's party. And I was thinking Deadpool, like who cares? Like it's a baby, the baby's not gonna really remember this day, he's turning 1, they're not gonna really remember. She's like, Chris, you can't do that. Like that costume is so tight. I go, who's gonna look? You're gonna look? I don't really care. Like,
Just get one that's like 3 sizes too big, and just tell them that it's kind of like the baseball players from like the 1930s.
yeah, like I could just do that. But I think next Halloween I'm definitely gonna do Deadpool. I think I play I'm out of my mind, like you could see. Like I think I would play Deadpool to a T. That's the one I feel like character I could play, and I won't get anything wrong. like Chris, you're doing great. Keep doing that. Whatever you're doing, if you're going to a Subway and dancing on the table, just keep doing that. We were proud of that. Get that Subway
What are
sandwich.
your top 3 besides Deadpool? Now, what are the other 2?
So Marvel character, if we're talking Marvel, because I put them in different categories.
Yeah.
If we're talking Marvel, it's definitely Deadpool. Not top 1. I'll probably say 2. I love Wanda. Wanda, I connect to so much. I love Wanda. She is amazing. And then third, I think I would say Spider-Man. I really like Spider-Man, but I always switch. Like I might not remember it, but then I'll watch a movie. Oh my god, yes, I know you. Yeah, my favorite character. That's why, like, you know what I mean? I'll go, okay. I'll say Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man, but he might not be my favorite. But then I'll see someone else. I'll remind them. I'll go, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the name, but that's all one of my top like 3. You know what I mean? I'll
Yep.
switch back and forth. I don't know. I'm just a kid that has big dreams. You know.
Storm is one of my favorite characters
I
too.
love. See, I love. No, let me get that wrong now. See how I'm gonna switch this up now? See, you just said X-Men 97 characters. I love
That's right.
Magneto. Magneto is my all-time favorite character in the Marvel universe. All-time favorite.
And look at his backstory. He's a villain because he's coming from a tremendous amount of pain and
Yeah,
trauma.
and like from like a Nazi camp. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
Like his story is so bad. Like it's a bad story, but it's like as he grows up, and then you see like a different. I feel like the movies. Who I forget who portrayed him. He did great portraying
Ian
Magneto.
McKellen. Ian
Yeah.
McKellen. Yeah.
And then also when the younger guy, is that the younger guy's name?
Fassbender. You're talking about
Oh,
Michael
okay.
Fassbender.
Okay. He killed him. He killed that role. I love him as Magneto. And then of course he's returning. The older Magneto is returning for Doomsday, of which it got casted as when they did that 4 hour that I was on line for. And I waited, and every 10 minutes they would announce a character. I'm like, just announce everybody. Just go through the list. I'm waiting every hour or every 10 minutes. Like, my God, come on, people. But yes, Magneto. That's why. But see, I told you, like, it's when you say a name, and I'll be like, no, Magneto is, and then it's Scarlet, and and then I could say Polaris. I think I'm saying that name. So I think that's what I'm saying that name. Polaris. Yeah, Polaris. The daughter of Magneto too. Like I love Magneto, and I really hope that what I'm hearing for season 2 of X-Men 97, Polaris is shown. I think it's Deathstroke. Is it Deathstroke? Maybe that's not a character. I don't even know. See, I don't even know what they said.
I'm just thinking now. I'm thinking of X-Men. Like Jean Grey is great.
Yeah, like you think like X-Men 97. I love animation, so I love everything that's done in animation. Like live action, don't worry, I'm a fan of live action, but when you have an animation you could do so much, and I connect to the characters more when they're animation. I don't know why, that's just me. Like Ahsoka Tano is my all-time favorite character in everything. I love that. I love her, and I love the voice actress. Like the voice actress and the live action actress are way different. I always would prefer the animated version. Just like with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I would always watch the live action. Don't get me wrong, but I would prefer to keep it like animation. You know what I mean? If they ever went live action, it would be badass to see you as Scorpion though. I could imagine that.
Marvel, I'm totally available for that.
But yeah, I like Magneto, Wanda, Polaris. Like those are my top probably 3, and then you have Wanda. No, of course I said Wanda. See how we play that?
That's a good group. That's a really good group. That's a powerful
Yeah,
group.
because they're so powerful, and it like
Yeah.
it's crazy because, spoiler again, in Deadpool and Wolverine, Magneto's dead. They killed Magneto, and we're like, how do you kill Magneto? Magneto is like the one of the strongest uh
Mutants.
mutants like in the
Yeah.
world. Like, how are you killing Magneto? And she was powerful too. I liked her bald head. I just wanted to like just rub it and see if it's like a genie in the bottle and see if I can like see what happens. Um, but yeah, I love that movie. I watched that movie a couple times. But the best part was Dogpool. Like, Dogpool was my favorite. I love Dogpool. I met
So,
Dogpool.
did you?
Yeah, I met Dogpool.
That's awesome.
It's
How did you?
amazing.
How did that happen?
It went. So they went to a con, Rhode Island, and I'm in I'm in Jersey.
Okay.
So it was her first ever con. Her name is Peggy, the dog's name.
That's funny.
So you get a photo and she signs it, like she puts her paw like a paw print, and she paws it. And I took a photo with her. I was next to her, and she stood there the whole time and took pictures, like just sitting there. You're not allowed to touch her. I would have loved to touch that little beautiful baby. I would have just been, oh my god, I love you. Where's your tongue? Like, show me love. But
That's beautiful.
we couldn't do that. But Dogpool was a great experience. I would do it again. A lot of people lined up for that. Like, there was a long line. They had to cut people off because it was so long. And she was only there for, I think, a day. I think she was only there Saturday or Sunday. So she's only there a day. She wasn't there 3 days. She was there maybe one day, and then she added the next day. But I wasn't there for that. I was there, but I already got my autograph on One of a Kind. But yeah, Dogpool is the
That's
best.
great.
I'm Chris Poole. Chris Poole, right here.
Chris Poole.
Chris Poole, and then Jonathan Poole. But that doesn't sound better than Chris Poole, though. I'm just saying. Sorry, Jonathan. Sorry.
Mac Poole.
There you go. There you go.
Mac Poole.
So Jonathan, my final question to you is: so anybody watching this, anybody listening, what is your one piece of advice that you would give that upcoming voice actor like me? Because I want to go to voice acting classes. I want to be a voice actor and a voiceover and stuff like that, so you can hear my sexy voice. But what is that one piece of advice that you can give that person for their auditions or something like that?
Oh wow, I would say listen to as much as possible. Listen to what you love. So if you love animation, listen to as much animation as you can. Listen to video games. Listen to commercials. Listen to the way that language is used, the accenting of words, the hills and valleys, because there's so much more that you have to do as a voice actor because you're only using that one piece of you, right? You can't, there's so much that I can transmit through the camera with just a look or even in stillness. But when you're doing the voice of something, you really have to almost go further than you think you have to go, or further than you think you should. And I think the best barometer for that is to really get a sense of what that's like from people who have been doing it for a long time, which is what I did. I listened to everybody that I could, and I learned by doing, experimenting. Don't be afraid to fail. Record your voice and see what it sounds like. See if you believe yourself. See if what you do sounds interesting, and work on it every day. I think one of the best pieces of advice. So I studied with William O'Leary, is one of the acting coaches that I studied with, and he used to say, and I think it's true, if you work a 40-hour gig, right, and they're going to pay you whatever they're going to pay you for, a 2-hour session, how long would it take you to make the same amount of money that you would make in that 2-hour session in your 9 to 5? And if it's, if the answer is 10 hours, obviously you're not going to be able to work 10 hours for an audition, but you should be putting in the same amount of time, the same amount of effort. I think the best example that I've ever heard, and I've told this story before, but it bears repeating, is and it's anecdotal. I don't know if this is actually true, but one of the stories is Picasso standing at a bar. Somebody comes up to him, Pablo, and they say, "Hey, you're Pablo Picasso. Draw me a picture." And so he grabs a pen and a napkin off the bar, and 5 minutes later, he comes up with this incredible, beautiful drawing. And they're wowed, and he's like, "That'll be $50,000." And the person says, "It only took you 5 minutes to draw that. Well, how could you possibly charge me $50,000?" And he said, "Yeah, but it took me 40 years to be able to draw something like that in 5 minutes." And I think that's as true in our profession as it is in any artistic profession, or in any profession, that frankly, right? Like I couldn't do what a research analyst does, or a scientist who's been working for 20 years if I just stepped into the office tomorrow. I can't compare my day one to somebody's day 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just work at it as much as you can, and don't be afraid to fail.
I'm definitely going to copy your voice.
You should do that. I would love to hear that.
Could you imagine? I sent it to your voice recording, Jonathan. It's me. It's Chris.
So you're halfway there already.
I know. I'm almost there. I get deeper and deeper as it goes on.
Just work on it a little bit more, Chris, and eventually you'll get there.
But Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on the Scevoli Expert shows and talking to me. I really appreciate you. You're a talent to the world. You really are. You're incredible. So nice. So funny. So awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do in the acting world, voice acting world. Before we go, any upcoming things that you like to talk about? Any upcoming movies, shows, animations that you are in, or you can't say much, or you can just say we're working, and that's it.
There might be something coming out May of next year that I was able to be a part of, or sometime next year. I don't know when it's coming out, actually. That is going to be really interesting. I can't wait till I can talk about that. I just did an independent film in New Mexico called Raiden's Daughters with a very talented filmmaker, Sienna Burke. She's up and coming. I think people need to watch out for her. I'm always working with my buddy Crash Buist, who's an incredible filmmaker, and just he really is just a one-person studio. He does everything. Incredibly talented, and him and his girlfriend Lauren, who are both remarkable artists in almost every sense of the word. We're working on a couple projects that hopefully will take off in the next 6 months. I'm finishing up a short film with my friend Eddie Robles, we did a short film called Tesla that people can go check out. Right now it's online, and I'll send you a link so you can see it, and if you want to share it. It's a sci-fi film, very Black Mirror-esque, and we're working on another short film that we're almost at the end of, and it's delicious. It's so good, and I can't wait for people to watch that. And then For All Mankind, I think it's supposed to come out later this year. I'm not sure what, but I'm in a few episodes of that, and that was incredible to work on. I met so many amazing people on that. And hopefully,
Jonathan's working and twerking.
I'm trying.
I love that. There you go. X Wars. There you go.
X Wars.
He gets it.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Anytime, Jonathan. But before we go, where can everybody find you on the social medias? And of course, I will post all your social media links and whatever you want me to post in the bio of this episode when it airs.
Jonathan Jordan Medina is my full name on Instagram, or you can look up Yonacito, Yonacito. Yonacito, Yonacito on Instagram, and then Vimeo. My Vimeo channel's always open to people, so it's vimeo.com/Jonathan Medina, and I'll send you those links. People can check things out there.
Please do, gentlemen, please do. But thank you so much, guys, for watching the Scevoli Expert Show. Jonathan, always come back and on my show. You're always welcome here. Always come back, whatever you do. You can just hit me up and say, Chris, let's just talk about me. I was like, okay, let's talk about me. Fine, send. So I'll be right there. I'll leave work now so I can come talk about me.
Chris, let's talk about you.
Oh,
for
next episode.
however long.
Find out in the next episode of your friendly neighborhood. Scavolitano. No, Scavolitano. See, I switched it up on you, Jonathan. You weren't ready for that.
Scavolitano.
I am Italian. I am Italian. But thank you guys for watching the School Expert Show. Jonathan, once again, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your time, and we will talk right after the show. Guys, be kind to one another. May the force be with you. And can Scorpion end us?
Make sure you watch the show, because otherwise I might come and find you.
I think he'll come find me. I think so. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.